My Clemson Tigers play tomorrow against Miami, and y'all have a better record than we do. So but I love college football. Thank you for having me. I want to thank Dave and Mindy for opening up their place and letting us speak here today. You know, it's been a tough couple of weeks, and it's been a heavy couple of weeks. And when you think about what happened in Israel, here you had people who had just finished their most prayerful time in the week. It was quiet. And then murder broke out. This wasn't just brutality. This wasn't just killings. This wasn't just burning people. This wasn't just rape. This was flat out torture. And what haunts me is that 5 years ago, I gave a speech at the United Nations, talking to all the countries, and I said, we know that there are maps. And these maps are held by Hamas. And what these maps say is if they can break the border, these are the communities they're going to hit first. And their whole goal is how do you erase as many Israelis as you can and kill them? And those maps came true. That's haunting. But it's a lesson. Because what we're looking at now is we're going to continue to see issues. Now, 2 prayers were answered today. We've got 2 hostages that came home. We've got 201 more prayers to go. But I will say, first thing I said to Netanyahu when this happened was finish them. Finish them. Don't ever forget what happened. And what I said to Biden today is, don't fall for it. I've done negotiations with the Qataris when they've tried to go and get hostages home. They will do this to try and get you to back off. They're doing this to keep Israel from going into Gaza. Qataris are doing this to earn favor with America. Iran is doing this because they don't want to see Hamas fall. And what I will say is we should have 3 priorities. 1, support Israel, whatever they want, whatever they need, whenever they need it, we need to be there for them. The second thing is to eliminate Hamas. And the third thing is do whatever it takes to bring our hostages home. And don't ever forget, there would be no Hamas if there wasn't an Iran. See this for what it is. The second biggest threat we face is China. China's been planning war with us for years. We see it in the way they've bought up farmland. We see in the way that they've bought the largest pork producer in the world, the way they're infiltrating our universities with millions, the way they're stealing technology, the fact that they've killed more Americans with fentanyl than the Iraq, Afghanistan, or Vietnam wars combined. We know they're building up their military. Now they have 500 nuclear warheads. That's 100 more than they had last year. They have the largest naval fleet in the world. They have 350 ships. They'll have 400 ships in 2 years. We won't even have 350 ships in 2 decades. They're doing cyber. They're doing artificial intelligence. They're doing space. They're developing hypersonic missiles. We've barely gotten started. But the one thing I will tell you is there is an unholy alliance. China and Russia have named themselves unlimited partners, and Iran is their junior partner. We know this. China's importing more oil from Iran than any other place, sending billions to Iran. Russia's getting their drones and missiles from Iran. That's going in there as well. Understand what they are trying to do because they are all united in trying to defeat the West, and they all hate America. And we have to be smart. This is the time that we have to understand what got us here. What got us here was Joe Biden was weak when it came to Afghanistan. He was slow when it came to Ukraine. He's been pandering to Iran, and he has been completely absent when it comes to our border. And we are paying the price for that. And America has to remember, stop acting like it's September 10th, because we've got to start remembering what September 12th felt like. And let me tell you this. America can never be so arrogant to think we don't need friends. And we can never be so arrogant that if we sit in our own silos, that happened in Israel can't happen here. And so what we need is leadership, and we need strength. What we've seen is Democrat chaos with inflation. We feel it in the grocery store and the gas stations. Democrat chaos on the streets with crime. Democrat chaos in our classrooms with the lack of transparency. Democrat chaos on the borders because they're open, and Democrat chaos around the world. But let me tell every Republican in Washington, D.C. right now, you don't fix Democrat chaos with Republican chaos. They need to get in a room and figure it out and get us a speaker and get on with their job. When I was governor, we had a Republican House and a Republican Senate, and they butted heads all the time. And what I would do is I'd bring them in a room, and I'd say, we're not leaving until you figure this out. And I never let South Carolinians see how the sausage was made. We need to start getting focused. You know, 4 months ago, I dropped my husband Michael off for another year-long deployment. And I watched him and 230 soldiers pick up their 2 duffel bags of belongings to go to a country they'd never been, all in the name of protecting America. They're willing to sacrifice their lives and their families because they still believe in this amazing experiment that is America. So if they're willing to fight for us there, shouldn't we be willing to fight for America here? Because we have a country to save. But in order to do that, we need to understand we have to have a new generational leader, one that's going to understand that these threats are real, and we need new solutions to deal with it. We need to leave the baggage, the negativity, all the vengeance and everything behind, because we owe it to our families to make sure we're doing everything we can to keep America safe. So I think it's time we put an accountant in the White House. I think it's time we put a former governor in the White House. I think it's time we put someone who fought with China, Russia, Iran, North Korea every day for 2 years in the White House. And I think it's time that we know what it's like to have an America that's strong and proud again. And I'm asking you, if you like what I've had to say, go tell 10 people. Tell them to go to NikkiHaley.com. Caucus for us, get together, let's see what we can do, because I'm telling you, we've got one chance to get this right. Because it's going to take a lot of courage. And the courage is going to happen from me running and from all of you remembering, don't complain about what happens in a general if you don't play in this caucus. But we can do this. America can do this. We're strong. We know what it takes. We just need the right leader. And I am telling you, if you will commit with me, if you will stand with me, I promise you, our best days are yet to come. Thank you very much. God bless. Go Hawkeyes.